Hello and welcome to the UPSC Mains PYQ series by Shikara Academy. In this series, we are discussing all the GS Mains questions asked by UPSC over the past years. Okay. In today's session, we will be discussing the 2022 GS Paper 1, question number 6 to question number 10. Okay. So let's begin. Starting with the first question of the day, discuss the natural resource potentials of Deccan Trap. Okay. A straightforward question, a very short question. Okay. Worth 10 marks that we have to answer in 150 words. Okay, we have to answer it in 150 words. Now, mapping it with the syllabus, we can see that it has been asked from the subject of geography, and the topic is distribution of key natural resources. We have to discuss, we have to evaluate the natural resource potential of the Deccan Trap in the country. Okay. So the approach that we'll be taking is that in introduction, we will be describing what actually is a Deccan Trap. Okay, what is the Deccan Trap? In the body, we address the demand of the question by writing the mineral resource potential, the soil and agricultural potential of the Deccan Trap, and the water and energy resources in the Deccan Trap region. Then, in conclusion, we will be summarizing the answer. Okay. So, starting with the introduction, the Deccan Trap, formed by extensive volcanic eruptions during the Cretaceous period, covers parts of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and some part of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. It's basaltic rocks. Okay, the Deccan Trap's basaltic, the rocks are basaltic rocks, and derived soils make it one of India's richest regions in the natural resources. Okay, so we have described the Deccan Trap, and then we have connected the introductory line with the body of the answer. So in the body of the answer, we write the major mineral resources, the the potential in mineral resources, the potential in agriculture, as well as the potential in water and energy resources. So first is iron ore, manganese, and bauxite. Okay, these mineral resources are found in abundance and which supports the metallurgical industries. The metallurgy industries, these are supported by the iron ore, the manganese, and the bauxite. Okay. Then there are copper, lead, and zinc, which occur in scattered deposits across the central India, okay, in the Deccan Trap region. Then there are limestone and dolomite, which are used in the cement and construction industries. Then there are zeolites and clays. They have high industrial and agriculture value. So these are the different resources: the iron ore, copper, lead, limestone, manganese, bauxite, clay, zeolites. All of them, they have different applications in various sectors of the economy. Then there is soil and agriculture potential. Now the soil in the Deccan Trap is the black soil, black cotton soil, that we also call regur soil. Okay. So the soil is the black cotton soil, the regur soil, which is formed from the weathering of the basaltic rocks. Okay, it is highly fertile for this particular black soil is highly fertile for cotton. Therefore, we call it the black cotton soil for sugarcane cultivation and for cultivation of pulses. Okay, so example is in the state of Maharashtra. If we see, Maharashtra is the leading producer or is one of the leading producers of the cotton, of the sugarcane, and the pulses in the country. Then the water and energy resources. There is presence of groundwater in the fractures and potential of the hydroelectric projects on rivers like Godavari and Narmada, which transfers through the Deccan Traps. Okay, so Godavari transfers from west to east, and Narmada transfers from east to west. Now, for an added advantage in the examination, you can draw a map of India and just highlight the Deccan Traps region. Okay, so mainly in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra, and small part in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so in conclusion, we can summarize the answer by writing the Deccan Trap with its mineral wealth, fertile soils, and hydropower potential. So it has mineral wealth, it has very fertile soil for agriculture potential, and it has a high hydropower potential because of the presence of large rivers, prominent rivers like the Narmada and the Godavari. So this Deccan Trap region, it plays a crucial role in India's industrial as well as the agriculture economy. Okay. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 7. Examine the potential of wind energy in India and explain the reasons for their limited spatial spread. Okay. A 10-mark question that we have to answer in 150 words. Now, mapping it with the syllabus, we can see that it has been asked from the subject of geography, and the topic is distribution of key natural resources across the world, including the South Asia, okay? India and South Asia. So we have to examine the potential of wind energy in India, and the second part is we have to give the reasons why there is a limited spatial spread of the wind energy. Okay, why some areas, in some areas there is they have adapted more to the wind power, and in some areas they lack in wind power. So the approach that we'll be taking in answering in this question is that in introduction we describe wind energy in India, because the question is on wind energy in India. So in introduction we describe the wind energy in India. In body we address the demand of question by writing the wind energy potential, the potential for wind energy in India, and will also provide the reasons for the limited spatial spread of wind energy in India. Then, in conclusion, we will summarize the answer, okay, and we'll write a way forward or a forward-looking conclusion, because in the body of the answer, we are highlighting the reasons, we are highlighting the shortcomings, okay. So, in order to overcome those shortcomings, we have to write a forward-looking conclusion, okay, to make a balanced answer. Now, starting with the introduction, the wind energy is one of India's most promising renewable resources. Okay, so wind energy is a very promising renewable resource which offers a clean alternative to the fossil fuels. And India ranks among the top wind power producers globally with a potential exceeding 300 gigawatts. Okay, so there is a potential of 300 gigawatts of wind energy in India, and India is among the countries, among the leading among the top leading producers of wind power, and we also have very unfulfilled potential also. Okay, now the wind energy potential, the potential is that major regions. So major region is in which we have the potential. We have the state of Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, the coastal regions, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Rajasthan. Okay, so in the state of Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, these are the coastal areas in these states, along with the Rajasthan, because of the presence of the Thar desert there. So there is a good movement of wind. So these are the major. Then there are favorable conditions. So we have a large coastline, the coastal areas, the open plains, and the hilltops with average wind speed above 20 kilometer per hour are ideal for the installation of the wind power projects. Then there are government initiatives. The Natural Institute of Wind Energy and Wind Solar Hybrid Policy promote rapid capacity expansion. So there has been a push to for adoption of the renewable sources, and after the solar energy, the wind power is one of the prominent sources of energy on which the government is focusing. Then there are reasons why there is a limited spatial spread. Okay, so in different regions, so there is a limited spatial spread of the wind energy. Not all the regions have adopted to the for the wind energy quite effectively. Okay, so first is the geographical limitations. There is high potential confined to coastal and hilly regions. So this high potential of, or the regions of high potential, they are mainly situated along the coast and along in the hilly regions, okay, particularly in the state of Rajasthan. In the uh, Gangetic plain belt of the country, the potential is not that much. Then there is intermittent nature. Okay, we have seasonal monsoon dependence, which reduces the reliability. So more winds they flow in. So in the hinterland of the country, the more winds they flow during the monsoon months. Okay, so the wind movement is not perennial, it is seasonal, which reduces the reliability because these projects are very expensive. Okay, there are high costs involved, and if the wind power generation is seasonal, that will not be economical. Then there are infrastructure constraints. There is lack of grid connectivity and storage facilities in the country, and the high initial costs. So the installation and the maintenance require significant investment, and which many of the states, the state governments in India, they lack the resources to invest in such large projects. So, in conclusion, we can summarize the answer by writing: while India's wind energy potential is vast, its spatial concentration, infrastructure gaps, and variable wind patterns limit nationwide utilization. Okay. Then a forward-looking line. Okay, just a suggestion. Sorry. The policy support and the hybrid technologies can enhance its future expansion. That is the expansion of the wind energy. Okay. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 8. Explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relationships. Okay. A 10-mark question that we have to answer in 150 words. It's a question from the subject of society, and the topic is salient features of Indian society. Okay. We have to evaluate, we have to explore what is the impact of this work from home culture on the family relations, family relationships. Okay. Because this question was asked in the year 2000, this question was asked in the year 2022, just after the 2 years of COVID lockdowns. Okay, so it was quite a current affairs based question then. So the approach that we'll be taking in answering such a question is that in introduction we describe work from home. Okay, we describe work from home, and in body we write the impacts because we have to evaluate the impacts. Okay, so we'll write the positive impacts and we also write the negative impacts. So we'll highlight both the positive as well as the negative side of the story. Okay, then in conclusion we will be summarizing the answer. Okay, so in introduction we can write the COVID-19 pandemic in the year 2020-2021 popularized the concept of work from home, transforming professional and personal spaces. Its impact on family relationships has been both positive as well as negative. Okay, so we have described the work from home, like what was the genesis of this work from home, and with the connecting line, we have connected the introduction with the body, the introductory line with the body, that the impact on family relationships were both positive and negative. Now we write both the positive impacts and the negative impacts. Okay, so first is the increased family time. Okay, so now parents spend more time with children, strengthening the emotional bonds. So the commute time to the office, that was saved. Okay, so as a result, the individual, the parents, the husband and wife, they can spend more time with themselves. They can spend more time with children and the family, which strengthened the emotional bonds in the family. Then the flexible schedules, which led to a better balance between the household duties and the work responsibilities, particularly for women. Okay, the flexible schedules, because of the work from home, provided an ideal balance between the household duties, because it provided a perfect balance for managing the household duties along with the work responsibilities, or the work or the office work. Then the shared responsibilities, family members, they collaborate more on daily chores, promoting equality and understanding. So both the husband and the wife, okay, all the family members, they collaborated in the daily household work, which promoted equality and understanding within the family. The negative impacts, the blurred work-life boundaries. Okay, the constant availability for work increases stress and conflicts. So if you are working from home, okay, so the fine line between the work and between your professional life and the personal life, that fine line, or that boundary, it got blurred. Okay, and which led to the constant availability for work. Okay, so if the person is working from home, he or she has to be available, uh, or he or she is expected to be available at maximum time of the day. Okay, for work if any urgent work comes. Okay, and this increases the stress and the conflicts in the family. Okay? Then there is reduced privacy. Limited personal space leads to irritation and fatigue. Okay? So all the members, they were living under the same roof, and they might feel that their personal space, they are lacking the personal space. They do not have personal space, and this limited personal space, or this lack of personal space, leads to further irritation and fatigue among the relations. Then there was emotional strain. Overlapping professional and family roles causes burnout and communication gaps. So now in conclusion, we summarize the answer by writing the work from home redefined family dynamics. Okay. And this was true for India as well as on the global scale also. It offering togetherness yet testing patience and boundaries. Its success in nurturing healthy relationships depend on maintaining clear work life balance and a mutual understanding among the family members. Okay, so in order to effective to gain the maximum advantage of the work from home, Okay, we need to maintain a clear work-life balance, and there should be mutual understanding among the family members. Now, moving on to the next question, that is question number 9. How is the growth of tier 2 cities related to the rise of new middle class with an emphasis on the culture of consumption? 10-mark question that we have to answer in 150 words. Now, mapping it with the syllabus, we can see that it has been asked from the subject of society, and the broader topic from which it is asked is the topic of urbanization. Okay, it's a mix of urbanization plus the influence of globalization or this culture of consumption that was a product of the globalization, its overall impact on globalization and the rise of tier 2 cities in India. Like seeing the approach. So in introduction, we describe the growth of the tier 2 cities. Okay, we describe what are tier 2 cities, and we write in brief about the growth of the tier 2 cities, the economic growth of the tier 2 cities. Then in body, we write about the economic growth and aspirations of the people in these tier 2 cities and the culture of and about the culture of consumption that is driving this economic growth and aspirations. Okay. Then in the conclusion, we will summarize the answer. So starting with the introduction, the rapid growth of tier 2 cities in India. So example we can give like Indore, Coimbatore, Bhubaneswar, etc. has been closely linked to the emergence of a dynamic new middle class. So the metro cities are mainly the tier 1 cities. All the other major cities are considered as tier 2 cities like Indore, Coimbatore, Bhubaneswar, and they has been closely linked to the emergence of a dynamic new middle class. In these tier 2 cities, there is emergence of a new middle class, okay, new dynamic middle class, a younger middle class. And this transformation, okay, of these tier 2 cities, it reflects the economic decentralization, urban expansion, and changing consumption patterns in these tier 2 cities. Now we write about the economic growth and aspirations in these. So first is the expansion of IT, education, and manufacturing sectors has generated new employment opportunities. Okay, so growth of IT industry, the IT sector, IT parks in these tier 2 cities, and the opening of new education institutions, the central education institutions, and the manufacturing or the manufacturing sector, the production of different things, or the automobile industry and the other these industries. So the focus on IT sector, the expansion of IT sector, education sector, and the manufacturing sector has generated newer employment opportunities for youth in these cities. Then there is rising disposable income. With the higher employment opportunities, the income also rises, and this leads to a higher disposable income, which have enabled. So employment leads to higher disposable income. This higher disposable income enables people to aspire to urban lifestyle similar to those in the metros. Okay, so people in these tier 2 cities now they aspire a lifestyle, a, urban lifestyle, a metro lifestyle, or that the people in the metro cities they live. Then there is culture of consumption. The new middle class, the neo middle class, the dynamic middle class emphasizes lifestyle choices, branded goods, and digital consumption. Okay, so this new middle class, yeah, they make lifestyle choices. They buy the they buy the branded stuff. Okay, and they digitally consume a lot of content also. Then there is growth of malls, cafes, multiplexes, and e-commerce platform signifies the consumerist culture. Okay, so there has been so in the tier 2 cities, okay, over the last 10 years or a decade or so, there has been a growth in number of malls, opening of new cafes, new multiplexes, and the penetration of the e-commerce platform, okay, is significant, which highlights the emergence or which highlights the presence of the consumerist culture in these cities. The social media influences spending patterns and aspirations, reinforcing a culture of visibility and modernity. And the social media has played a major role. Okay, it has influenced the spending patterns and aspirations, or this social media is now guiding the aspirations of this new dynamic middle class. Then, in conclusion, we can write the rise of tier 2 cities symbolizes India's socio-economic transformation, where the new middle class drives urban consumption and contributes to the inclusive urbanization beyond the metropolitan centers or the metropolitan cities. Moving on to the last question, that is question number 10. Given the diversities among tribal communities in India, in which specific context should they be considered as a single category? Okay, a 10-mark question, applied an application applied or conceptual question that we have to answer in 150 words. Now, mapping it with the syllabus, we can see that it has been asked from the subject of society, and the topic from this question has been taken is the diversity of India. Okay, it is talking about diversities among the tribal communities. Okay, so now the approach that we'll be taking in such a question is that in introduction we describe the tribal diversity in India. Okay, because the question is talking about the tribal diversity in India, so we deal with the or we describe the tribal diversity in India in the introduction. Then in the body we give the context of unity among these tribal among the diversity of tribal groups. Then in conclusion we will summarize the answer. So starting with the introduction, so India's tribal communities exhibit immense diversity in language, culture, economy, and social organization. So there has been immense diversity among the tribal communities based on their language, their culture. They have different cultures. They have different economy and social organizations. Okay, so it's not like the tribals. They form a single community. Okay, there are diversities within these tribal groups also. However, in certain policy and socio-political context, but in policy making and in the socio-political context, the tribal communities or the tribals, they are viewed as a single category due to shared historical and structural conditions. Because they had these tribal communities, they have a similar shared historical and structural conditions. So for the purpose of policy and for socio-political context, they are considered as a single category. In reality, these tribal communities, they exhibit immense diversity, be it language, culture, economy, or social organization. Now, their context of unity, we have to provide context of unity. The first is the constitutional and legal framework. The term scheduled tribes unites all tribal groups for the purpose of affirmative action. Okay, for the purpose of political representation and for the welfare schemes under Articles 15, 16, and 46. So, the fundamental rights as well as the directive principle of state policy in the Constitution. Okay, uh, the term, the Constitution uses the term scheduled tribes, which encompasses all the tribal groups in the country. Okay, then there was socio-economic marginalization. The tribes or the tribal communities, they collectively experienced issues such as poverty, or they collectively experienced issues of poverty, displacement, illiteracy, and exclusion from the mainstream development. Then there is cultural identity and rights. The tribal communities, they had common struggles to protect their land, to protect their forest rights, and their cultural autonomy to justify the collective recognition. Then there is political mobilization in the overall national level discourse. The collective identity, okay, the collective identity of the tribal communities as scheduled tribes, it strengthens the advocacy for the rights and representation. Okay, and they also form a good chunk of the uh, uh, vote banks also so the political parties, they use them as the vote bank also. So they have if we take the tribal communities together, they have the collective identity, and they all can collectively advocate for their rights and representation. Okay, then in conclusion we can write, despite internal diversities, the tribal communities can be treated as a single category in context of constitutional recognition. Okay, we are agreeing that there are internal diversities among the tribal communities. Okay, there are inter diversities there, but at the constitutional level, for the constitutional recognition, for the socio-economic justice, as well as for the collective empowerment of the tribal groups or the tribal communities, they are considered as a single category. Okay, now the answers of these model answers will be available to you on Shikara Academy's Telegram channel.